In this video, we're going to go through items that will go up in value come Phase 2 and beyond. If we look ahead to Phase 2, we can predict which items will go up in demand and therefore price, and begin to gather these items ahead of time so we can make a huge amount of gold, so we can buy the mechano hog, the Grand Traveler's tundra mammoth, or whatever else you want to do with your gold. Now, one item in particular that's going to be a big moneymaker is the Sash of Ancient Power. Now, this is a craftable belt in Phase 2, which recipe drops from any boss in Ulduar. It's powerful because it has hit, haste, 2 sockets, and a good amount of spell power, making it a solid upgrade from Cincture of Polarity, and really makes this belt the belt of blasting of Wrath of the Lich King. On top of all that, the belt is bind on equip, meaning it will sell for a lot. But besides this new Ulduar recipe, there are some other items that will skyrocket in value that we're going to go through. But first, a message from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Explore millions of champion combinations and countless tactics as you take on raid bosses, dungeon runs, campaign battles, and PvP arena matches. My favorite champion is the Sky Touch Shaman. She has an amazing passive healing ability that heals your whole team every turn and can both cleanse and block debuffs. And this month is huge for Raid. They just released a brand new faction, the Sylvan Watchers, with some amazing new champions: Forest Elves, Ents, Druids, and Fae. And if that's not enough, Raid's got a full line of events along with a new season of the Forge Pass where you can get your hands on some of the most powerful gear the game has ever seen. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get your exclusive rewards on Raid right now, and if you haven't started playing Raid yet, click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on the screen and you'll get unique bonuses worth $30. We're talking the free epic champion Tayrel, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shards. You can summon your awesome champions right when you get in game. Now back to our items that will go up in value. We were just talking about the Sash of Ancient Power. We can also assume that the materials used to make this belt will go up in price, which is spellweave and ebonweave. These 2 cloth are required in sacks of 4 each and can only be made once every 4 days, so it's a pretty scarce crafting reagent bound to go up in price in Phase 2. But we can go even further down the crafting supply chain, so to speak, and look at what reagents are required to craft spellweave and ebonweave, and of course, Eternal Shadow and Eternal Fire are needed to craft ebonweave and spellweave respectively, not to mention the Infinite Dust as well. Now that means we can safely assume that these will go up in value come Phase 2. But that's not all. Spellslinger Slippers also have the exact same reagent requirements and are also a BOE epic. Now you might be wondering about Moonshroud. Well, that will also be going up in value come Phase 2 because it is needed to craft Savior's Slippers, requiring 8 to craft. But that's not all. The Cord of the White Dawn is a powerful belt that is also made using Moonshroud. And just like with Spellweave and Ebonweave, Eternal Life, which is used to craft Moonshroud, will be going up in demand and price come Phase 2. Now, besides these tailoring BOE epics, which have a low drop chance off every boss in Ulduar, there are also leatherworking BOE recipes such as Belt of Arctic Life, Belt of Dragons, Blue Belt of Chaos, Boots of Living Scale, Boots of Wintry Endurance, Death Warmed Belt, Foot Pads of Silence, and Lightning Grounded Boots, which all require Arctic Fur, Icy Dragon Scales, Nerubian Chitin, and Jormungar Scales. Pretty much all of the new Northrend skinning materials you can expect to go up in value come Phase 2. And don't forget that all of these recipes that we're going to go through are going to require Ruined Orbs. These will have a low drop chance in Ulduar, similar to the Nether Vortex and TBC. You can also purchase these for 18 emblems, which many argue is not a great deal, but if you have no other use for your emblems, that could be another source of gold for you. Now there's also 6 blacksmithing recipes, which are Battle Lord's Plate Boots, Belt of the Titans, Indestructible Plate Girdle of Righteousness, Spike Death Dealers, and Treads of Destiny. All of these are going to require Titan Steel Bars. But what will be even more valuable than Titan Steel Bars in the future is titanium ore. Now when you prospect this in Phase 3, you'll get titanium powder, which you can trade for Dalaran Jewel Crafters tokens, which will be in high demand because epic gems will be available in Phase 3, and everyone is going to be rushing to purchase the recipes, purchase the Dragon's Eye, and of course prospecting titanium ore for the epic gems themselves. So if you want to start stocking up now or in Phase 2, that is a great idea to get ahead of the rush. Now, while we're on the topic of Phase 3, Eternal Fire is going to go way up in value in Phase 3 because of of Transmute Cardinal Ruby. This Transmute is a quest reward, so it's not too difficult to acquire, but most importantly, in order to perform the Transmute, alchemists need 1 Eternal Fire and 1 Scarlet Ruby. Now, even though it is on a 20-hour cooldown, alchemists will definitely be using this as soon as they can on cooldown to cash in on those amazing epic Cardinal Rubies. And you can cash in on supplying the Eternal Fire and, of course, the Scarlet Rubies, which will also be valuable. But that's not all. Looking ahead, if you're an engineer, and let's be honest, most people are, choosing to be a gnomish engineer can work out in your favor when Iceblade arrows come out into the game. This is the best in-slot ammo, which requires 2 crystallized shadow to craft and requires Honored with the Ashen Verdict to learn the recipe, but will certainly be a great gold maker in the future. And if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. Now, of course, come phase 2, Dragon's Eye are definitely going to also go up in value because everyone's going to be getting fresh Ulduar gear, and then they're going to need to socket that, meaning all enchanting mats and gems will go up in value, and eternal belt buckles, don't forget about those as well. Again, most players are engineers, so they're going to be buying the materials to make another round of nitro boosts, hyperspeed accelerators, springy arcana weave, and more. So materials like cobalt, saronite, crystallize and eternal air, frostweave cloth, volatile blasting triggers, and overcharge capacitors will all go up in value as demand rises. And the same can be said for blacksmithing and their extra sockets, calling for Eternal Earth and Eternal Shadow. Generally speaking, at the start of a new phase, it's a great time to start selling crafting reagents, consumables, and as a good rule of thumb, they're going to decrease in value over time as players, no longer need to put it on their gear because they got their best in-slot item, right? And so therefore demand will fall and price will fall, and it won't be as good of a gold making opportunity. So right when a new phase drops, get on that immediately. If you're a jewel crafter, this means you might want to prepare for some saronite shuffles, stock up on lots of saronite ore now to prepare to start doing those prospecting, cut the uniques, craft the uncommons into necklaces, disenchant those, and you can make a whole lot of gold at the start of a phase. But don't forget, raid consumables in phase 2. Now, everyone expected Naxxramas to be really a very easy raid, and everyone thought phase 1 is just going to get completely steamrolled, and it was. Even after Blizzard gave Naxxramas monsters a 25% damage and health buff, it was still easy. But phase 2 will be a different story. With the increase in difficulty, raiders will stop skipping on the flasks and the potions, and we will definitely see much higher usage of raid consumables like Flask of Stone Blood, Indestructible Potion, Flask of Endless Rage, Potion of Speed, Flask of the Frostworm, Runic Mana and Healing Potions, and Fish Feasts. All expect these to go up in value in phase 2. Also, another big item that will only go up in value over time is Flame Cap. We know this will be valuable when fire mages become the meta, so get them now and watch as the value skyrockets in the future. Also, armor penetration gems will go way up in the future when stacking armor pen becomes the meta, so make sure you have the jewel crafting cuts for them or get the recipe for them and then be prepared to go ahead and start crafting those when the time comes. But none of this even matters if you don't have the gold to invest in these materials up front. Check out my massive gold making guide that goes over the top 17 gold farms in Wrath to get you started on your gold farming journey. I'll see you there.